When we think about transformation, whether it's in fitness, mindset, or any other area of life, we often get caught up in the idea of big, drastic changes. We tell ourselves, if I just overhaul everything all at once, then I'll finally see results. But in reality, true lasting transformation is built on something much smaller, more subtle, more incredibly powerful. Today, we're going to dive into the concept of crafting sustainable habits, a crucial pillar of transformation. We're basing this on Galatians 6:9, which says, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." This scripture is a reminder that transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it comes through consistency, patience, and perseverance. If we stay faithful to the small habits, the good works, we will see the harvest in due season. So, in this episode, we'll break down the importance of crafting small, sustainable habits that will lead to long term change in your fitness journey, your spiritual growth, and your overall well being. Let's dive in. When we think about transformation, we often get overwhelmed. The idea of completely changing our lifestyle, our fitness, our mindset, it feels like too much, right? But the truth is, transformation doesn't start with drastic measures. It starts with small, consistent habits. Think about Galatians 6:9 again. It tells us not to grow weary in doing good. In other words, don't get discouraged when the changes seem small or when the progress feels slow. In due time, you will reap the rewards if you do not give up. This is the core of crafting sustainable habits. Big changes often burn out quickly, but small, consistent habits, those are the building blocks of long lasting transformation. These habits might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they add up to something powerful. Whether it's adding 5 more minutes to your workout, drinking more water, or spending time in prayer each morning, these small actions done consistently create massive shifts. The key is to embrace the small wins. Often we don't celebrate little things, but those are the habits that set the foundation of bigger changes to come. So instead of thinking about how much you have to change, start thinking about the small habits you can create that will set you on the path to transformation. I need you all to remember it's not about doing everything all at once. It's about taking small, manageable steps forward. Now that we've talked about why small habits are so powerful, let's dive into the pillars of sustainable transformation. Because these are the key areas where you can create habits that will help you stay on track, both physically and spiritually. The first pillar is consistency. Without consistency, no habit will stick. Galatians 6:9 encourages us not to grow weary in doing good, which implies that there will be times when we will feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. But if we stay consistent, if we keep showing up, even when we don't feel like it, that's when real transformation happens. Consistency isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. So let me give you an example. When it comes to your fitness journey, it's not going to be all about doing the hardest workout every day. It's about showing up, moving your body, and doing what you can each day. If you do that consistently, you'll see results over time. That's a promise. And the same goes for spiritual growth. Spending time in the Word, praying and reflecting consistently, even in small amounts, will deepen your relationship with God. The second pillar is simplicity. Sometimes we overcomplicate our goals and habits. We think we need to do the most complex workout routine or follow a strict meal plan to see results. But the truth is, simplicity often leads to sustainability. I got it that time. Start with habits that are simple and easy to integrate into your life. If it's too complex or overwhelming, you're less likely to stick with it. So in your fitness journey, start with something small. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk every day or swapping out one unhealthy snack for something nutritious. Spiritually, it could be as simple as reading a single scripture each morning or setting aside 5 minutes to pray. The point is, simplicity allows you to stick with the habit, and as you grow, you can build your foundation. The third pillar is patience. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. We all know this, and that's where many of us get discouraged. Galatians 6:9 reminds us that we will reap in due season if we do not give up. That if it is important because it tells us that the harvest is coming, but only if we stay the course. You see, patience is about trusting the process and understanding that every small habit, every consistent effort is moving you closer to your goal. So even if you don't see the results right away, let's say you're working on your fitness or deepening your spiritual life, it's important to have patience. Results will come, but only if you don't give up. The small habits you're crafting today are planting seeds for the transformation you'll see in the future. Now that we've covered the pillars of sustainable transformation, let's talk about how to practically start crafting habits that will stick. And here are 3 simple steps you can take today. Step 1, start small and build gradually. The biggest mistake people make when trying to change their habits is going too big, too fast. Start with small, manageable changes that you can sustain over the long term. For example, if your goal is to exercise more, don't start with an hour-long workout every day. Start with 10 minutes, then build from there. The same goes for spiritual habits. If you're trying to spend more time in prayer or Bible study, start with 5 minutes a day. And once that habit becomes part of your routine, you can gradually increase it. Step 2, track your progress. Tracking your progress is one of the best ways to stay motivated and see how far you've come. Whether it's writing down your workouts, journaling your spiritual growth, or using an app to track your daily habits, seeing your progress on paper or digitally gives you a sense of accomplishment. It's a reminder that even the smallest steps forward are still steps toward your goal. Step 3, focus on the process, not the outcome. It's so easy to get caught up in the end goal, whether it's losing a certain amount of weight or reaching a spiritual milestone. But the key to crafting sustainable habits is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Instead of fixating on the result, focus on the daily actions that will get you there. Trust that if you stay consistent with the process, the outcome will follow in due time. Let me share a personal story with you. When I first started my fitness journey, I made the same mistakes so many of us do. I tried to change everything at once. I set huge goals, I took on massive challenges, and inevitably, I burned out. I would go hard for a week or two and then fell off because it just wasn't sustainable for me. But it wasn't until I started focusing on small, consistent habits that things really started to change. I shifted my focus from perfection to progress. Instead of trying to overhaul my entire routine, I committed to small, manageable changes. I started walking every day for 15 minutes. I added more vegetables to my meals, and over time, those small habits compounded into something much bigger. I saw real lasting transformation, not because I did something huge, but because I stayed consistent with the small things. The same was true in my spiritual life. I realized that trying to have a perfect prayer life or Bible study routine wasn't the key to growth. Instead, I focused on small, intentional moments with God each day. And just like my fitness journey, those small spiritual habits created deep and lasting change over time. Over time, y'all. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to remember that transformation isn't about massive, drastic changes. It's about the small, sustainable habits that you commit to every day. Galatians 6:9 reminds us that if we don't give up, we will reap a harvest in due time. So don't get discouraged if the changes feel small. Trust that they are moving you toward your transformation. What's one small habit you can start today? I want you to share it in the comments below, and let's hold each other accountable as we craft sustainable habits that lead to lasting transformation. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode in our series. Always remember, revolutionaries, it's the small things that lead to big change. Now, always be kind to everyone, be kind to yourself, and be unapologetically you.